I've got 5 tips to help you sell a lot of final expense, whether you're a new agent to final expense or an aspiring agent. These 5 tips are going to give you great perspective on how to make the most out of this business, whether you're selling remotely or virtually or the classical way of selling in person. Number 1 is quality leads. So here's the thing. If you're brand new to this business, you're going to be told that all leads are the same by a lot of these organizations. And the thing that's a little bit surprising that you many times, unfortunately, find out after it's too late is that these so-called leads are just data. The people requesting the information really didn't have an interest or know they were interested. And for the price that they were requested for, it was very cheap to do so. But what happens is that many of these organizations, very large organizations, either through just questionable ways of collecting the information or just reselling of old leads over and over, they take a product that was very cheap to acquire and then mark it up tremendously, turning it into a cash cow. Now, the reason this is important is because what you don't understand is in many cases coming to this business, you're the one that's being monetized. In other words, you're as much of the prospect to the agency to take money from as it is to go sell a policy. And so many of these organizations make millions of dollars a month selling what they claim to be great leads, which is really just data or glorified names in a phone book. So why does this matter? Because all leads are not the same. So whenever you join an organization, you want to sell final expense successfully, you got to make sure you're getting quality leads. Now, the definition of quality leads to me is something that is fresh and exclusive. Fresh means that the lead was generated very recently, within days, no more than a week or two. And exclusive means that they were never resold. Now, it's not that you can't make sales with the other kind of leads, but you're giving yourself the best chances of success in order to consistently make sales of final expense every week. I like, for the final expense business, direct mail leads for face-to-face agents, Facebook-based leads for telesales, or face-to-face leads. And in some cases, sometimes, inbound leads can be very good if they can be acquired at high quality levels, and also if the script that's used on the TV commercial or the inbound script is actually good quality. But most of the agents who do very well are doing some kind of outbound methodology with Facebook leads that are fresh and exclusive, or some kind of direct mail lead. Number 2 is quality training. So here's the thing, 90% plus of the final expense agent population fails within weeks to months of getting started. I know that because I have been recruiting agents since 2013. I've seen many other agencies come into the business and go. And what many of the strategies that these big agencies use is an MLM, multi-level marketing, Kool-Aid drinking scheme, mass recruitment strategy that if you have a pulse or can fog a mirror, then you're welcomed with open arms into the organization. And then what many times happens is those people who are very excited about getting started, unbeknownst to them, don't realize that this business actually is difficult. You've got to go see people, you got to call them over the phone, you're going to get rejected. It takes consistency and takes execution over a long haul to get and make a lot of money. And many people get discouraged with the process, incidentally enough, because there really isn't any kind of substantive training. Training consists of a couple rah-rah meetings, maybe watching a video or two, and then go get them and good luck out there. But the reality of this is that this is a skill set. This is something that's very difficult and takes time to learn. And many people fail who could have otherwise done decently had they had a mentor, not just any kind of mentor, but a one-on-one mentor to help them coach and learn the business, the script, the carriers, the training, to get some advice with dealing with the difficulties to get through it so that they can learn and grow from it. So if you're getting into the business of final expense, understand mentorship is non-negotiable in my opinion. That's why we focus on one-on-one mentors in our DeFord Insurance Group agency, because it has made that much of a difference prior than when we didn't. So make sure you're going to get one-on-one quality training when getting involved in selling final expense, because it makes all the difference. Number 3 is quantity of leads. So here's the thing. It's not just about having the best leads that are fresh and exclusive. It's also having enough of those leads to give yourself the math, if you will, to give yourself the best opportunity for success. So here's what I mean. The best agents in this business, generally speaking, buy more leads than what they can work. Now, why is that important? Because if there's anything that you want in life when it comes to sales, is that you want to be in demand. You want to be so busy up to your eyeballs that you can barely stay ahead of the interest and demand that you've got to be required to work. And yes, that's stressful, but it's good kind of stress, right? Because if you've got so much work that you can barely stay on top of it, you're probably writing a lot of business too. So don't just buy quality leads. Make sure you buy a lot of quantity of leads. A couple of tips I would give you. I think your goal as a face-to-face agent, if that's the route you're going to go, is to do 15 to 20 completed appointments a week. My recommendation is to have a minimum of 30 direct mail leads a week, so maybe even 40 plus in order to accomplish that. As far as Facebook leads for face-to-face, somewhere around 50 to 60 a week is a good goal to have, fresh and exclusive leads. And then if you're doing some kind of telesales outbound activity, we recommend no less than 100 leads a week, probably closer to 150 leads a week, because with telesales, it just takes a lot more volume of quality leads in order to make sales and consistently make money every single week. Number 4, have a variety of carrier options. Now, this stands in contrast with what we call the captive world, where they have one particular product that is supposed to be the cure-all, the one product solution to cover all of your clients. And while this is very appealing to believe on the surface because it simplifies the sales process, and there's always a good reason to do that, sometimes too much simplification, you start to cause problems that, unbeknownst to the new agent, will prevent you from making sales and making a good bit of money. I just had an agent leave a testimony for me that transitioned from a one carrier product, a company named after an American president, and he has made more money in the last 6 months and has closed more of his business because now he has a variety of carriers that are more flexible with underwriting, that have better pricing in some circumstances depending on the age and the sex of the client. And it allows you to get more business written. And then also because you have options to replace inferior existing coverage that may be overpriced that you otherwise couldn't get with a better option. So that means you help your clients better with more options for coverage. You end up making more money and you make more clients happy. So make sure when you get into this business, don't believe the hype that one product is enough. The people who say that usually are at the top of the food chain making a lot of money running a massive agency. They're not the field agents who's out there trying to make a living. So understand that options usually lead typically to more sales, which usually lead to more money. And number 5 on the list here is you got to have a grinder work ethic. So final expense is something that is not very difficult compared to other products. It's not technically advanced. It's a pretty simple, straightforward product to understand. Are you going to die? Yeah. How are you going to cover it? With a policy, right? Because you probably broke if you don't have it as far as the client goes. So it's something that people try to, generally speaking, get and understand. But the thing is there's a lot of people that are going to try to push you off because a lot of our prospects are what we would call world-class procrastinators. They don't want to buy this stuff. They want to wait to the last foreseeable second to buy a policy, then croak. But that's not how it happens, right? Death is a thing which nobody knows when the day is going to happen. So really the big difference here for those who are very successful in this business is they don't come into this business with some kind of like casual work ethic. They come into it knowing that they're probably going to have to work 50 plus hours a week to begin with, maybe over time scale it back as their skill set increases. But this is a business pretty much like any business. When you get started, you got to put a lot of time and effort and investment of your attention into it. Now, you can start this business part-time, but you have to have a full-time mentality. And I think that's the big thing. The people who really do well in this, they go the extra mile. There's nothing really magical about these people from a standpoint of higher IQ or even better salesmanship. And surprisingly for many people who have dealt with these agents. But the thing that is amazing about them is that they're resilient. They'll go that extra door to knock. They'll make that extra phone call. And that really makes all the difference in the money that they make and the success that they see. So make sure that you have a great work ethic when you come into the business. So that's my 5 tips to sell a lot of final expense. I hope it's been impactful. If you'd like to learn more about how to implement these 5 tips with an organization that actually cares about you and wants you to succeed, please check out mine. It's davidduford.com. Click the FAQ section at the top to learn more. You can also check out testimonials, our About section. We got free training that you can get access to as well to learn more about the final expense business. And thank you so much for watching.